Hey guys, this is axe-dtagon. Today I'm going to be going over my Nightblade bomber build for update 44. This build hasn't changed much since previous updates, but I thought I'd do a refresher for anyone who doesn't know this build yet. This is super simple, super easy. It's the most effective bomber out there, and in my opinion, it's the overall best bomber you can use. If you're the type of person that would like to see gameplay before you watch the full build video, then you can skip to the end, and I have a gameplay montage. So I'll just get right into it. So I'm using tri-stat food. You can either use crown food or make food. And then I use Alliance spell drought potions because they're wicked cheap and you can just keep spamming them to get your ultimate up, because Nightblade passives give you ultimate regen when you drink a potion. So on my front bar I have the Master's Perfected Battle Axe, sharpened with weapon spell damage enchant. So what this does is every time you use the cleave ability, you deal an extra 1550 damage per enemy in its cone. And if you have it perfected, you get some offensive pen as well. And then on the back bar, I have the Dark Convergence Ice Staff with Decisive and a Damage Shield enchant. So what this does is when you put an AoE on the ground, for me, I use Caltrops. It will... Oh, it's not doing it here for some reason. So when you place an AoE on the ground, it makes this purple swirl that pulls all the enemies in and then explodes. And it deals increased damage per enemy in that explosion. And I'm using the medium balourge mask with divines for extra damage, and the vicious death set, of course. So what this does is it gives you a bunch of damage, and every time you kill a player, they explode for 12,000 damage in a 5-meter radius. So when you pull them in, if you kill one person, they explode and they kill everybody else. And that scales with your weapon spell damage. So if I just buff that real quick, now you can see it deals 18,000 damage, and that goes up even higher when I use my ultimate because of the balourge. And then I have the Dark Convergence, Vicious Death, and Vicious Death. You want it all divines with max mag enchant, and then Necklace of Vicious Death. You're going to want all the jewelry to be Bloodthirsty and weapon spell damage enchant for extra damage. And yeah, I have blue jewelry. I know I need to improve it. But this does just go to show how I get all these huge bombs and have blue jewelry, so it just shows how good the build is. So you don't even need everything to be golden. You can have blue and purple stuff and the build will still work. On the back bar, I have Razor Caltrops for extra pen and it snares enemies. And then I have Proximity Detonation, which deals 100% increased damage per enemy hit. So when this goes off, it pretty much will just kill everybody as long as you use your ultimate before it to get extra damage from balourge. Then I have Channeled Acceleration for the speed buff and extra crit damage. And this is really good because you can run into bombs really quickly when you use this. Then I have Concealed Weapon just for 10% speed increase when invisible. And then Shadowy Disguise for invisibility, and it gives me extra damage from vampire passives and critical rating. Also, this was changed since last time I used it. So now you don't have to keep pressing the invisibility, you can just turn it on and it will take your magic over time, which I actually like a lot. And then I have Soul Harvest, which is just for extra ultimate regen when you kill an enemy on your back bar. So if you want to go around killing NPCs to get your ultimate up, this will help with that. And then on the front bar, I have Mirage, which will reduce the damage you take from AoE by 20% and give you 3,000 physical and spell resistance, as well as giving you extra dodge, or decreasing the cost of dodge. And Brawler is going to be the main skill that you use when you go in for a bomb, and this is buffed by the Master's Battle Axe. So it increases damage per enemy hit, and it increases your damage shield per enemy hit, so you're basically invincible once you use it. And then this is just for extra weapon spell damage when you use light and heavy attacks, so you can stack this up and then go into a bomb, and it can save forever until you use this skill again. And then you can use a spectral arrow to finish an enemy off in a bomb if you don't kill them, and this deals massive damage. You can sometimes one-shot people with this. And then the Shrewd Offering is just a heal, and Forward Momentum gives 20% damage increase and 15% stamina recovery. It also makes you immune to snares. And then Soul Tether is the ultimate that we use to proc balourge. This deals huge damage and siphons enemies, so you get an extra heal over time. It also has a synergy that other people around you can proc, dealing an extra 10,000 damage. And then for the passives, you're going to want all the Nightblade passives and all the two-handed passives with all the destruction staff passives. And you're going to want all the armor passives if you have heavy balourge. If you don't, then you just want the medium and light passives. And in Legiorman, you want the improved hiding in case you want to stay sneaking in a keep, but you don't want to use your magic. And I am a stage 3 vampire on this build, but if you want to be stage 2, then you optimize your damage and sustain. Stage 3 will give you extra resistance as well as that extra damage. And then stage 4, you can be invisible when you sprint, which can save magic, so you don't have to be going invisible all the time, you can just sprint around. So I will alternate between stage 2 and stage 3, and then I sometimes go to stage 4 if I want to be able to be invisible when I sprint. So it's really just a preference thing, but if you don't know what one you want to do, I would suggest stage 3, because that's going to be the best of all worlds. It's going to have the least downsides with the most upsides. And then you're going to want the Psijic skills to buff channeled acceleration. And you're going to want all the Undaunted skills as well as the assault and support passives. And I'm a high elf on this build, so I would recommend being either a high elf, a dark elf, or a Khajiit. Those are going to be the highest damage races you can use. I'm a high elf though, because that gives you the best sustain. And you're going to want all those racial passives. And then if you're using different potions, you might want snake blood and medicinal use. And in the provisioning, you're going to want gourmand for a 20-minute duration on eating food. And then in the champion points, I have celerity in the red, as well as bastion for extra damage shields, slippery for breaking free from stuns, and then rejuvenation for extra sustain. And then over in the blue section, you're going to want Fighting Finesse for extra critical damage and healing, Mastered Arms for extra direct damage, Biting Aura for AoE damage, and then I like Backstabber because when you pull everybody in, you're inevitably going to be flanking at least somebody, and you're going to get an extra 10% crit on that person. And remember, you only need to kill one person for your Vicious Death to go off and kill everybody else. So if you can just get one person, then you can get the bomb. And then in green, I just have Rationeer, Liquid Efficiency, and Steed's Blessing. You can pretty much do whatever you want with the green section. It doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to go over the Mundus Stone. So I am using the Shadow for the extra critical damage. I would say there's nothing that really comes close to the Shadow, but you could do something for sustain or resistance if you want that. Now I'm going to show you guys the rotation. So first I'm going to buff. And then you're going to want to stay hidden until you see where you want to bomb, because you are a squishy build, so you can't be seen. And then you're going to use Momentum and Mirage, then Channeled Acceleration to Proximity Detonation, and then stay invisible till you see where you want to bomb. Then when Proximity Detonation is at 2 seconds, you're going to place your Caltrops, and then use your ultimate, and then just cleave until everybody dies. And if that doesn't work, then just go invisible and escape. So that concludes the build portion of the video. If you have any questions, just comment down below and I will answer your questions. And if you want to see more Elder Scrolls content, just make sure you subscribe. Only 4% of you guys are subscribed, so I'd really appreciate it. And now I'll leave you guys off with the gameplay. Thank you for watching.
Lost souls, bitch, lost souls. And the no, I reach the road. Bitches lost souls, oh, and I know it. Fucking with the old ones, you won't get fucked over. Ferraris and Rovers. a blow, boy. Rari's a roll, once the world